And we're live. Welcome to I Drink and I Know Things. Then they came for Black Pigeon Speaks. That's right. I don't have any bagpipes or I'd cue them up. Another soldier has fallen
Hold on.
in the fight for free speech. Matter of fact, somebody who does not cuss in his videos. They're all scripted, well edited. I've only seen him on a couple live streams ever where he's going off the cuff, and even then, he's very reserved and, well, nothing like me. um, if they can get him, well, they're gonna get all of us, guys.
I got the music for you actually for Black Pigeon Speaks. Hold on.
It's all right. I got the meme. You're welcome.
But isn't he mostly a lefty?
Oh, Goldberg?
No. Black Pigeon Speaks.
No, he was a conservative voice. Some would say alt-right. I wouldn't. I was subscribed to him, and I did before the show go and try and view his channel, and it is blocked for hate speech.
I was subscribed to him as well.
But
he was definitely conservative, but I don't know about alt-right. That seems a bit far. But then again, did you see the New York Times article about recently? They were trying to say that what's his face? Joe Rogan was alt-right.
I know, right?
Yeah, like let me see. I know I shared it on Censor Book. Oh, this is not on my
there's a site called Censor Book.
Yeah, Censor Book by Mark Zuckerberg, owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah,
I'm unfamiliar with that individual.
You're unfamiliar with him, huh?
Oh,
yeah, he hasn't been. He hasn't pumped a fag outside of a pub with him yet.
I forgot how to spell censor. My apologies.
No memes. Man, who's next? I mean, I know a bunch of people are demonetized, but yeah, they're not being removed. Now they're removing entire individuals who they don't even cuss, man. I'm more inflammatory joking around than he is being serious.
Yeah.
Well, go on.
The thing is that they are sooner or later going to hit critical mass if they keep this up at this pace. Because when it comes to censorship, if you do it a little bit at a time, then the pressure that the censorship causes, it slowly recedes. But if you keep up the pressure, then you will hit critical mass, and then people will just start abandoning YouTube wholesale.
Yeah, that's basically pretty much the point. Yeah, no, that's pretty much the point. It has been like that since the adpocalypse and all that kind of stuff. And it all goes down to like YouTube is basically a gigantic hemorrhage in Google, and they can't get rid of it because it's going to cost too much to get rid of. No one wants to buy it because it's hemorrhaging so much money, and they literally can't just shut the site down and just walk away from it. They'd be sued to fuck. So they've basically got to ruin it for everybody, so you will leave. And if you do leave, and this also does come into a bit of that AdSense thing, because verbal contracts and inferred contracts and stuff like that, if like in some countries, you just can't be sacked like you can in America. And if they decide just to shut the site down and just walk away from it, they could get sued by foreign entities and all this kind of stuff, for loss of trade, loss of business, loss of ad revenues, because they might be using their business to advertise and all this kind of stuff. And YouTube doesn't give a fuck, because the longer they're going, the more money they're hemorrhaging, and the quicker this dies, it'd be better off for them. So they really don't care. And I'd say this is probably their new tactic. They can't use the adpocalypse anymore. They can't use the pedophilia shit. They can't use the advertising of terrorist shit. They can't use, like, now they're just going, oh yeah, hate speech. Oh well, we don't like you. You must be alt-right, so we'll just boot you off. And then you want to come and complain? Well, yeah, good luck with that, son.
Well, no, and to follow up on that, George Jordan Peterson is running the beta test for a new video platform that will have in its terms of service anti-censorship rules. It is called ThinkSpot. The link is now in chat. I signed up for the beta, so we'll see whenever. They said it could take a couple weeks before they email people and let them in. Sargon's already in there, and a couple other of the big name people are already over there. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
So my predictions there will likely be the same. That what we're going to end up seeing is that we get spaces before, because when Tumblr was a thing, then you will go there for a certain type of content. DeviantArt had shared the space with Tumblr, and Twitter was pretty much by itself. But as this all the platforms now prop up, you will likely see them each carving out a more specialized space for each one of them. And while there may be some overlap, I pretty much believe that sooner or later they will solidify what is their core audience, so to speak.
Oh yeah, no, they've already got that. It's the SJWs, the feminists, and all the basically the minorities who hate the normies like us. That's their audience, or that's their intended audience, anyways. Because remember, boys and girls, I did make a complaint about Lindsay Amer, and YouTube said that there was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, no, and Cass was talking last night about how he's going on his own campaign against these pedo apologist people on YouTube, and he's going to try and show them to be the sickos they are. I bet you Cass is going to end up in the crossfire here.
Yep.
You know, that is fucking weird to me, how they're like knocking so many of these people out for just having the wrong opinions. But, you know, then you have these people going on social media trying to normalize pedophiles. Like, what the fuck happened to our fucking Western civilization?
Yep.
Well, no, and I'll leave it right there with that topic because my kids are awake. It is.
Well, no, and I understand. I
don't like that topic. But no, I totally agree with you. This is getting ridiculous when you're letting people like Onision, even where he is soliciting naked pictures from minors, and he still has a YouTube channel, right?
Yep. See, that's where I call into bullshit. Their excuses. Oh yeah, we're getting rid of the kiddie fiddlers. We're getting rid of the terrorists. We're getting rid of this and we get rid of that. Hang on. Well, how come you're getting rid of all of these supposed fucking alt-right people, but Lindsay Amer is still there? Huh? I call bullshit.
What about the root? I mean, they want to talk about hate speech, but then you can still find shit from the root on YouTube. They're racist as fuck.
Does it come down to reporting tendencies? Because I know we've kind of discussed this a little bit, because I've been on and listened to or at least listened to a lot of Dr. Winters and Kevin Logan streams, and a lot of folks over there that tend to be of a bit more leftish persuasion, they're very straight up and honest, saying, if I see somebody or something that I believe violates the terms of service, it's like, well, that's the game. And they go right for it. Whereas if you do that on more of the rightish or libertarian side of YouTube, you kind of end up, I don't know, searching for boulders.
But the thing is, the kind of racism I'm talking about is socially acceptable, and that's why it doesn't get removed from the platform.
But again,
but it's still racism.
Level.
Missed that completely,
Memes, you broke up there, but you might want to repeat.
No. All I'm saying is, if you have somebody that's saying something derogatory about perhaps a person of color or a minority or something, and there's like 1,000 reports saying that this is hate speech or whatnot, and then if you have something that's criticizing basically WASP or White Angels, Saxon people and stuff like that,
well, people
and there's 0 to maybe 1 report might that weigh into what's going on? Because if all of a sudden you have a lot of more right-wingish folks, if they start reporting everything, and because it's the mirror force principle, whatever you do to attack somebody or try to deplatform them or whatnot, you open yourself up to the same criticism and the same basically attack being used back at you.
Well, very true.
With this casual racism thing, it's sort of what's racist in America isn't necessarily racist everywhere else. I mean, like just about every other country on the planet calls black people. We don't refer to them as Africans because, unlike Americans, we understand that there are more countries around the world other than Africa that have people of color in them, and they are black, so we call them black. It's not racist. It's just it's like saying Japanese or fucking Indonesian or.
I'll clue you in on a little secret. Most people in America call them black people too. Most people in America don't say people of color.
Well, even the African American part of it. But it's even funny when you see the Africans and they're like, I hate these fucking Americans who call themselves African Americans when they've never left their suburb, let alone their city, let alone their country.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of folks, they're not necessarily like from Africa or descent. I mean, they could be from like Haiti or some other place.
Yep. Yeah. The Dominican Republic. They could be fucking Indian. They could be Sri Lankan.
Oh, dude, you remind me, freaking David Ortiz. Like had like a second surgery, man. Sad. Oh, he was a designated hitter from for the Red Sox from the Dominican Republic.
I mean, shit. If you called an Aboriginal an African American, I think you'd die pretty quickly.
I hear they're pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah. There's like let's just put it this way: rule of thumb: if you run over one of their kids, you don't stop.
Well, I think that would be any society, wouldn't it?
Why are you running over their kids?
Yeah.
Well, because
I disavow.
Because they don't look after them anyways, and they're usually playing out in the roads and running out in front of cars and stuff like that. And
I used to play out on the road, but then again, I literally lived next to a castle when I was growing up.
Yeah, but then again, that was probably the 80s, and that was safe back then.
Wait, you lived next to a castle? You grew up in England?
No, I grew up in probably at least what I consider to be the nicest part of my hometown. And I think the castle, I think that was, he may have been the CEO of Pepsi or the president or vice president or something.
I fucking hate you.
Well, it actually wouldn't surprise me if it was the CEO of Pepsi, because at one point there, Pepsi actually had, I think it was the 8th largest navy in the world.
It was the 4th.
4th, that's it, yeah.
It was basically because the Russians wanted Pepsi and the Soviet ruble was worthless outside of Soviet Russia.
Yep. So they just gave him a bunch of Navy ships.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Are you saying I was lied to? It wasn't MTV. It was actually Pepsi Cola that ended the Soviet Union.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Pepsi that got that navy. It was Coca-Cola.
No, it's Pepsi.
No, it was Coca-Cola.
I thought that was for like World War II Germany with a bunch of not so nice people and stuff like that. That's why they created Fanta.
Yeah, that was Fanta did come from that.
Yeah, because they couldn't get the proper Coke syrup, so they used some other formula. And then when the war ended, the Coca-Cola went to Germany and went, so what were you guys doing over the last few years? They, well, we made this. Have a drink. Like, oh, that's pretty good. Just in 50 years, don't release an ad saying, yeah, let's relive the good old days.
Oh, but you know how many heads exploded when they did that. It was cringy, though.
Oh, I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, it was hilarious, but you could see how people would be easily offended by it.
I honestly thought it was a prank when I first saw it, because, like, I saw it, and then the celebrate the good old days. I'm like, oh man, this must be a fucking prank.
Nah, I figured they just fucked up and didn't realize what they were saying, which is pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, no company's going to fucking be that edgy. I mean, I know the tendency these days is for corporations to try to be edgelords, but, they're not going to go that far.
But one would assume that someone wouldn't be that fucking stupid to think that no one could do simple subtraction from fucking 50 years.
I don't know.
Math is hard. I stand by that.
Gillette decided it was a good idea to piss off most of their customer base.
Didn't their sales go up?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, but the fire
the
station
size-
fire station in Newtown in
general,
Sydney. The fire station in Newtown in Sydney got into shit because they responded with their little message board out the front saying masculinity isn't toxic, but fucking house fire smoke is. So check your smoke alarms, and they got into shit for that.
Wow.
So, okay, if somebody who doesn't curse on air, who makes professional-looking videos and has 500,000 plus subscribers is nuked overnight, who's next? Want to place your bets?
Yep, I'm placing my bets on someone I A, don't subscribe to, B, don't watch, C, don't like. Because that's been the trend so far.
Well, I don't know. Memes. Who do you think?
Oh, it might actually help if I talk. Who's next? Who's got 100K-ish plus subs and is highly effective?
That's a lot of people.
You think Tim Pool's next?
I think Tim Pool is actually being used as an authorized source or an authoritarian. I don't know. An authentic source. I do think he actually YouTube likes what he does and may actually recommend him. I don't think Tim Pool. I tend to lean towards Sargon.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. I mean,
what about Baring?
That's another possibility.
Probably Baring first because he's slightly smaller. And actually, they were both deplatformed before. They both lost their channels at one point. Sargon actually lost his Gmail. They did the whole Jordan Peterson thing on him for like 2 days, and that just made him stronger.
The Baring got booted because he was fucking stealing someone's artwork or something like that, and then he got in contact with him or changed the artwork slightly or something like that. But yeah, he swears like a motherfucker and he tells people off and shit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's next.
I think I would tend to believe because Sargon, that would also be viewed as highly political as well. And he bearing the colorful language, I do think, and again, I get it. He's an Aussie, and that might be just a little bit more of the status quo for some of the folks down there. But yeah, I'd say probably bearing spicy language. He's probably next.
Or
yeah,
so.
Well, that's it. That still sort of goes on what I said about calling people blackfellas. Like like this. You see me, Baring, and fucking Isaac Butterfield, and we basically all talk the same fucking. Have the same fucking attitude. We swear like fucking troopers and fucking all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
What about Baring's wife, Sugar Tits?
No. She is nearly as controversial as Baring is.
Yeah, no, you can have a Dodge.
Well, I let's see here. I think shit will be really bad if they nuke somebody like Mundane Matt's channel, right? Because he talks about the news.
How much engagement is he getting?
No. It's not about engagement if they nuke Mundane Matt. It's more about the symbol effect it has.
I agree.
I mean, if they nuke Mundane Matt or Philip DeFranco, that would be a huge own goal, so to speak.
Oh yeah, no, they did try and do Philly D. Like that, I saw that about a week or so ago. I was like, Philly D's all right.
That was based upon people's inferences from the New York Times interactive graphic, which, while it was cool, very often having Philly D come up when it's saying, "I was brainwashed." Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think they're going to nuke Philly D just for the sheer fact that when YouTube had a little hiccup a few weeks ago, YouTube on Twitter, Team YouTube, they cited Philly D's post and video. So they consider him an authorized source, I guess.
Medicare. How long are they going to leave him up? You think I'm controversial? Come on.
But is he dealing with politics, or is he just kind of like making fun of folks that often do very silly and at times not that bright things on the internet.
Yeah, but the terms of service they keep citing is hateful, inflammatory, or also harassment or bullying.
The worst things are usually on his live streams, which he pretty much more or less instantly nukes. According to Laszlo, the instigator, he says Sargon is next.
To be honest, I just was looking through my subscribe list. One that we haven't brought up yet that I think would be most likely would be Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah.
But didn't they already do him with fucking InfoWars?
No, he's still on YouTube.
He was nuked off of Facebook.
Yeah, he was nuked off of all the other social media platforms.
I think he's still on Twitter.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to Twitter, even though I have one.
Yeah.
But that's another funny one there too. The only cunt in InfoWars that actually makes any fucking sense and is talking sensibly, and they want to go after him.
Yeah.
That is because he talks sense.
Yeah.
See, that's what I see as one of the potential issues, and that's one of the things that really bothers me about this. Because, like, if someone's going over there and they're just dropping a whole bunch of profanity and like hating on a bunch of folks, like, I get that, because that kind of goes into the categorization of spam. It's kind of like back in the day, you're on a forum or something, somebody just puts a whole page of N-bombs and stuff. It's like that's spam. Nobody really wants to see that. We just get that you're just kind of like raging out and just trying to like irk people. Like, we understand that. It's just, if you're somebody like BPS and you just have such highly polished, high production content, and especially with that whole realm of anonymity and stuff like that, he makes a highly strong argument. He's giving different sources throughout that, even if he doesn't list them below. He is citing the very particular studies and stuff he's doing. And if nobody really knows who he is, it's like, well, how do you go after the guy? What are you going to do? Dox him?
Memes, I'll let you finish your thought, but real quick, Penoid says they got me. I caught a hate strike. No shit, dude.
Well, what'd you get for, man?
Yeah, Memes, do you want to DM him the Hangout link? Hey, if you got time, Penoid, come on and go ahead and talk about that, because now they're getting people around my size. Like, Penoid has, what, a couple hundred more subscribers than I do. And they just got him.
I'd still love to know exactly what for, though.
That's why I'm asking Memes to shoot him a Hangout link. If only if you have time, Penoid. I know you work, dude. So it's up to you if you want to come on. But, yeah, like, I was just about ready to go to YouTube and type in American History X clips and see what's on there. Because I bet you I could find some hateful fucking shit.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a song I'm going to check up.
Do not play it on my show.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. A little bit if this continues, which I don't want to do, but, you know, it might need to be done.
Well,
and all I've ever made before, guys, was jokes. If you found them offensive, then maybe I'm a sucky comedian. But that's it.
Right.
Come on.
Or maybe they should just watch another channel.
Right. There's actually videos entitled N-word bop. Like,
oh yeah, here, so. No, you can look up.
They're still there.
David Allen Coe songs all day long on there, dude. There's this channel that I follow just because I was going to make a video debunking his racist crap. It's called No White Guilt. Look him up. He's still up. He does a show once a week with a bunch of alt-right and fucking Nazis every fucking week. He gets away with it. 19,000 subscribers. I mean, shit, man.
The DuckTales video from N-word Bob 3 months ago, it's still there. Even though it says it's a re-upload from the deleted thing, but it's been there for 3 months. Oh, look, there's another one from a year ago. The theme song DuckTales. Yeah. Oh, the Black People song 4 years ago. That's still there.
Oh, I'm sure.
I love DuckTales.
You could probably find that movie, and that movie Disney doesn't even sell it anymore because it's so racist.
Oh, Jesus. There's even one that just says, I hate and then in the little description thingy thing, it just says, fucking
No, and you can get this from the other side too. You can look up black nationalists. I've debated these people on their own channels that they still have. Okay, and they are literally talking about a black ethno state. It is ethno state talk. It is alt-right, but with a different color on it.
Oh, hey, I just found a video for you, Dodge.
Me.
Yeah, iDubbbz TV too. There's a video for you. Hey, now you're a Keemstar.
You know, I wanted to avoid the Keemstar jokes, but since you already made it, Keemstar could get kicked off for bullying, right? And he makes his living on YouTube.
But that's another thing there too. Hasn't he been booted from YouTube like about 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, likely.
Over the years.
Likely, but if they boot Keemstar, that is not going to go well for YouTube either, because if there is a community that is really engaged, and there is the drama community.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And Pinoid said to shoot it to him on Twitter memes, and he'll be on in like 20 minutes. Yeah, I would like to hear.
I don't have his Twitters.
All right, then I'll shoot it to him. Can one of you guys take over for a minute?
I just need to know his handle. I got it.
I should be Pinoid News, I think.
There's tons of videos that just blatantly just go, yep, this is an N-word video.
When someone had brought up black nationalists a minute ago, and I put it in the main chat, a link to that channel, but I'll do it in our chat here. This guy, I think it's Ghazi or whatever the fuck his name is. People have called
Ghazi
him
Koto.
Hitler. Yeah, people have called him Black Hitler. Like, super fucking racist. Like, just, and still fucking around. Like, how? You know, if they're so fucking worried about hate speech, how?
Yeah, because they're not really worried about hate speech. It's
I
all
know.
about...
It's bullshit. It's an excuse.
Yeah.
It's about censoring voices they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it that, or is it just one side is playing the game and the other is not really playing the game, as is viewed by many?
Well, YouTube sure as shit isn't keeping to their word. I mean, if they're going to get rid of people for saying the N-word and all this, why am I looking at page upon page upon page upon page of videos entitled N-word or effing N-word or bloody Tales from a Real N-word or the tale of an N-word the kid? And hang on.
Have you reported those videos?
I couldn't be bloody bothered. I don't really I don't give enough of a fuck to be bothered with it. Unlike everybody else, I don't have precious feelings.
So I'm saying, if the way social media works is they usually do not actively go out there to try to censor or basically give somebody a strike. It's usually based upon the social aspect of other folks bringing it to their attention.
Well, here's one that's absolutely inflammatory. There's one here from Tardy N-word. All effing N-words must effing hang. That's the title of the video 9 months ago.
That sounds very hateful.
The hypocrisy is alive and well.
So, I mean, again, would a lot of this make more sense? Like, let's say if Twitter or YouTube, along with like your subscribers, your followers, your likes and stuff, if they had another little tracker where it's like number of videos reported. I think that would explain a lot.
What would it
likely?
Basically, if there was a way where basically, you know how like you have your likes and your followers and your subscribers and stuff. Basically, if each social media platform also listed the amount of videos that you have reported or tweets.
That would just get abused no matter what anyway. They would just go around by creating dummy accounts to get rid of.
Rightio, several copies of the Chris Dorner Doom game is still up. Chris Dorner was a black Los Angeles copper who thought there was some conspiracy going on, and he went and shot a judge or his judge's family or something like that, and was going to take on the LAPD, and they basically summarily executed him. That was basically because someone was using racist terms in his department. He put in a complaint about it, and everyone started bastardizing him for it. So what they did was they went and got the game Doom, and then they just rejigged all the bad guys to be LA coppers, and they've got an NWA song with a lot of N-words in it playing over the top of it just to piss him off.
Well, no, and let's not dwell too much on words here. What's worse, words and comedy or violent imagery? Because I can also pull up right now a number of videos, including the Hollywood shootout where you watch a guy blow his own brains out by accident live on TV.
Oh, he did that on purpose?
No, he was trying to reload the handgun, and he hit the trigger because he was a fucking idiot.
Oh, but, a Darwin Award winner.
Yeah, you remember that? I remember being 8 years old and watching it on TV live. Like,
how long ago was this?
This is 90s.
Oh, yeah,
you're talking about the two dudes with body armor that were like robbing the bank or something.
They were robbing that bank. Yeah,
I thought the cops went to a local firearms store because they're smaller capacity firearms, and they had to pull like long rifles.
This was the reason why Yank cops started carrying AR-15s in the cars, because like these guys were stopping shotgun shells and 9mm rounds and stuff like that, and the SWAT guys just went, leave the MP5s, just bring the AR-15s. But like the story I was told was that he had one of the blokes got a stovepipe jam, which is basically when the bullet fails to eject properly and the bolt basically just jams shut and the bullet's there. You just flick it out with your thumb. It's an easy fix, but for some reason he couldn't fix it, and he pulled his gun out and he realised he was surrounded, and he put it up to his chin and pulled the trigger.
You saw the man's brains on national TV, and it's still on YouTube. What's worse? And MC just joined us. MC, do you want to answer that question?
Well, I think that this kind of talks for itself, doesn't it? Doesn't this automatically speak for itself? The reality is that they're using this as an excuse. Everyone keeps talking and constantly going, oh, it's about money or it's about this. No, money is a concern. I'm not gonna lie, but the primary reason that this is happening is because you have groupthink on the left, and they have in their own minds defined what, for example, we're gonna stop hate speech. Okay, we're on the right. We're in conservative circles. Do you hear people agreeing that hate speech is bad? Anywhere.
Nowhere.
Well, what the fuck is even hate speech?
And that's the problem. And the hate speech is strictly definable only by those on the left, and it's the ever-changing target because hate speech to them is quite simple. Anything they disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Is it necessarily what is said, or is it also along with how it's said?
It has nothing to do with how it's said.
Does it?
And it has nothing to do with what is said. All it depends on is whether or not they agree with it or don't. It does not matter. The words themselves do not matter.
Well, the other thing
I disagree, and the Supreme Court would disagree as well with that statement, MC.
Oh, really? Would you like to sit up there and show me, right, where Tariq Nasheed got banned?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just saying if the words do matter, because incitement to violence as ruled by the United States Supreme Court is not covered. I assume you were removing that exception, but I just wanted to clarify.
I'm not talking about incitement to violence.
Well, you said the words didn't.
Because we're not talking about something that's already illegal. This has nothing to do with what's already illegal, are we? We're not talking about illegal content.
What I'm saying is the framework of the discussion, if it's clarified, because otherwise people can take it out of context.
No, what do you mean that the framework of the discussion needs to be clarified for people? They already understand that we're not talking about something that's already criminal.
Does everybody understand that?
What do you mean, does everybody understand it? How can they not understand it?
Because we're basing this on a U.S. perspective, and we also have 2 individuals here that are not from the United States.
Okay, is it other countries that are banning people off of Twitter?
Oh, I mean, they're probably influencing.
Over here they just take away your every mean to get finances because you are not the right sort of people, so you don't deserve to earn money.
We're starting to do that over here too, apparently.
Well, what I find interesting is like with the litigious nature of the United States and all this kind of stuff, I'm surprised that a whole bunch of heavyweight American YouTubers haven't gotten together and sued YouTube to fucking was a breach of freedom of speech or something.
Well, I think they're working on that.
See, here's the thing, though. I'm not arguing in favor of government intervention in this matter, but the president has been talking about intervening. Do you think he will?
Yeah,
when they shut his account down, he will.
I think that he will because from his perspective, the ones under attack is his base.
It would be in his best interest to do something about it.
Yeah, because it's his people that is under attack, so he needs to do something.
His announcement the other day took approximately $70 to $90 billion off the value of the FANG group, the Silicon Valley giants.
Oh, one thing I was going to add to what we were talking about earlier, as far as like what the left defines as hate speech, another thing with them too is it doesn't even necessarily have to actually be something hateful or mean. They like to see dog whistles everywhere, almost to like conspiracy theory levels. Like everything's a dog whistle to them. Any criticism of anything, it's a dog whistle.
Kind of racism. You know what? I actually don't really understand that fucking term. So enlighten me.
Well, that is just that if they can construe something to mean something else, then it must mean something else. And the one that best explains this worldview is Anita Sarkeesian, actually.
Well, yeah, dog whistles, them saying that, okay, they're not. Dog whistle is saying, like, okay, let's say, how do I put this? The demographic that shall not be named comprises 13% of the population and commits half the violent crime. Okay. Now, I didn't make that statistic up. You guys didn't make that statistic up. That's straight from the FBI. However, pointing it out to the left, they think that that's a dog whistle against the demographic that shall not be named as being racist towards said demographic. No, this is statement of fact.
Can I ask you folks a question real quick? And my question, okay, well, I'm going to ask it anyway. But would you folks consider that when President Trump said there were very fine people on both sides after Charlottesville, would you consider that a dog whistle?
No.
But
the left does.
I'd say that was a sensible statement.
But the left says that because in their mind it was nothing but upstanding leftists standing up against alt-right Hitler Nazis.
Okay, I just want to hear. I'll finish.
What's the word I'm looking for? There's no God, I can't think of it.
No redeeming
context to it. They think it was just two sides. They don't realize that, okay, not everyone on the right that was there was a fucking Nazi. Not everyone on the left was like, just normal everyday Democrat voters. There were people in the middle on both sides of the political spectrum.
They don't acknowledge that at all, though. You got to
understand
that. You got to understand how the left actually how the left actually views that.
So, MC, do you consider that a dog whistle?
No.
Okay, Mad Dodge, do you consider that a dog whistle?
What are you going with this, Bean?
The answer is no. I was just grabbing a soda for.
No worries. The reason why I bring this up is, well, you folks here and many people do not consider that a dog whistle. I actually was on an alt-right server at one point. I was on Baked Alaska's server back in the day because I randomly saw him showed up in chat. I'm like, oh, Baked Alaska. I remember eating that as a kid. I'm like, oh, the great American dessert. And he did a little happy. So regardless, I ended up on his server. And at one point, there were folks there that were citing Charlottesville. And they said, he didn't just condemn us. So they may have viewed it as a dog whistle.
What do you mean? They're not viewing it as a dog whistle.
Really?
They made a statement of fact there. Because Trump wasn't just condemning them.
So by them getting kind of excited and saying, "Oh, he didn't just call us out; they called us out." That couldn't be construed as a dog whistle saying, "Well, what you guys were doing, I'm not necessarily completely against that." I think that's how it was interpreted. I'm just telling you from base experience. And MC, you told me to investigate certain things, and I'm just telling you from firsthand experience.
Yeah, and first-hand experience is what they're sitting there saying. He didn't just condemn us,
right?
He was condemning all sides, which is exactly what he was doing.
Yeah,
they seem pretty excited, man. I'm just letting you know what I viewed. Again, it was
what they were excited about was that somebody at least wasn't holding just them accountable. You had someone that was looking at it from both sides. Finally.
So that's not a form of encouragement.
That's the other thing.
How is that in a form of encouragement? It's an acknowledgement of the actual event.
There were neo-Nazis going around at one of the gay pride parades recently.
Okay, and?
Okay, that's not something I really remember happening all that
really
much.
Well,
there does seem to be a rise in
and Pussy Riot running through frickin' churches is what?
Well, apparently they went to jail, and I believe they're out now.
Well, that was in Russia, specifically Pussy Riot, but that happened in the United States, and they didn't go to jail. Code Pink doing some of the crap that they did. All right, did they go to jail for it?
Didn't Grandma Jill Stein end up going to jail or at least get arrested for chaining herself to a tree?
Did that bike lock fucking attacker actually ended up getting fucking arrested, or they?
Yeah, and he got community service. Absolutely no jail time.
Well, yeah, because he's a fucking trust fund commie, so he could hire a defense attorney.
Still, that should have been attempted murder.
It had nothing to do with the fact that he got convicted. All right, they did come back and say, okay, what he did was he was the one who did this. This is criminal. But you have a leftist loony judge who goes, well, he really didn't mean it, and time served. Bang. Just like they did with John Dean.
Well, no, and that's the thing. Like we were talking about earlier, who are they going to get next? Well, it looks like they got Pinoid. He can upload, but he can't live stream for 3 months on that channel. He got a strike.
What did he get a strike for?
Hate speech, I guess. I don't know. He said he was going to swing in a bit and tell us. So we'll see. But he's only slightly. He only has a slightly bigger channel than I have. He's almost at 2,000, I think, unless he broke that. He might have. But I'm at 1,500. We're about the same size channels.
So I think the only reason I ain't got hit with no strike is because my channel's so small, it just stays under the radar.
I'd laugh to hell if fucking Pinoid gets on and he goes, yeah, I was speaking to this foreign bloke and then he pissed me off, so I was threatened to behead him and his family and skull fuck his mother and then, all this other stuff. And it's sort of like, and you wonder why, dude. I'd laugh if that was the case.
Tell dude to eat a Snickers, man. Seriously.
This makes it even worse. Memes when you posted this, they basically dropped it down to a misdemeanor battery from the 3 felony assault charges.
Okay,
wow.
But if it's the truth, why does it make it worse?
What do you mean? It has nothing to do with it. Why didn't they charge him with a felony? Memes.
That's a good question. What did the judge say?
Didn't that happen in California?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Well, is that states' rights, or I don't know.
It has nothing to do with states' rights.
Okay.
We're not talking states' rights this or individual rights that. We're talking the difference between right and wrong. We're talking the difference between creating what you would call a level playing field and then turning around and going, well, it's not really level.
Well, he was assaulting and battering people with a weapon.
And what did he get for it? Did he go to jail? Did he lose it? Did he lose the right to vote? No, he's still considered an upstanding citizen because it was only a misdemeanor and he got to walk away. He can still do. He got literally a slap on the wrist.
Probably still has his Second Amendment rights, even.
Exactly, because it's just a misdemeanor.
Is he receiving equal treatment for an equal crime?
No, he's not.
What are we comparing it to?
Well, what do you want to compare it to, Eames?
I don't know. Similar cases of assault. Has the judge ruled the same way?
Who cares what the judge ruled in this case? If you take a look at,
disagree with the judge. I'm not supporting what the guy said. I mean, he could have killed people.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to compare it to anything, you could compare it to juries in the South back in like the 30s that would let Klansmen off on murder charges when they would lynch people.
That was happening all the way after the 50s and 60s.
Because it is kind of the same kind of situation. You know, you've got a politically leaning judge playing favorites with a political radical and, you know, not really charging them with a crime. Same thing with places like Louisiana in the 30s, right? During the Jim Crow era. You know, you have people in rednecks in bed sheets hanging people and then not facing any punishment for their crime because the jury and the judge are sympathetic to these fucking sister fuckers in bed sheets. I mean, that's about the only thing I can come up with.
Mm-hmm. The same type of idiots that chased Top Gear out of their town because they didn't know what Top Gear was.
Well, no, yeah, it's obviously politically motivated, especially when you look at what the Ninth Circuit Court does on a regular. MC, you bitch about that all the time.
I do bitch about that. Just like I was was it today or yesterday that I did a story on, they were doing an opinion piece on Justice Roberts. Justice Roberts is going to make a determination here, and he's a conservative justice. He's center conservative. Roberts has never been a conservative. All right, he's not a conservative justice. He's a frickin' stick the finger in the wind and see which way the winds are blowing, and that's how he decides cases.
Wasn't he appointed by President
Bush? It doesn't matter who appoints them. It matters on how they rule.
Does it matter who President Obama appoints?
Yes, and why? Well,
I thought it didn't matter who appointed them, MC.
That's a very good question. Here's the difference, all right? When you sit up there and say, well, why are you saying this doesn't make a difference? The reason it makes a difference is because who did Obama pick? He picked known radical leftists who didn't give a shit about the law and only determined things on how they felt about the specific case in front of them. If they liked the person who was coming in front of them, they found an excuse to sit up there and let them off. If they didn't like that person, even if the cases were exactly the same, they would change their ruling. That's who Elena Kagan is, and that is also who the Sotomayor is. And their cases are littered with it. They are people who don't even give a shit about the law. You had a case that went in front of Sotomayor, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sotomayor, all right, where she should have recused herself because she was actually the attorney that initiated the case, all right, in the court. And instead of recusing herself like a normal judge would do, no, she refused to do it. Oh, I have no conflict of interest here. All right, that's the kind of person that you're dealing with. That's the kind of person that you have on the left who they're picking. The idea that somehow these people are the same and equivalent. Now, when you're talking about a justice as far as somebody between Roberts and Scalia, in Scalia's case, you had somebody who goes, here, I'm a constitutionalist. I read the law. I don't determine whether I like the law or not. I just determine whether or not it meets the constitutional standard. I don't care what the law says because I'm not a legislator.
So you think it's because of their internal bias, potentially?
Right.
Well, no, and real quick, guys. Hey, Pinoid, were you making fun of mariachi bands again?
Yes, I was. But no. Yeah, like I did mention mariachi bands in that video, right? Disparagingly, and it got hit, and it was from a year ago. And it actually said it got hit for hate speech.
Because you mentioned mariachi band.
Well, yes. they're a tight-knit community.
Well, all right, let me. I want to be very clear about this, all right? The reason they're hitting me, the reason they've hit a bunch of other channels is because, all right, let me start at the beginning of this. Do you know what a loss leader is, Mad Dodge?
Go ahead and elaborate. I haven't heard that term before, to be honest.
All right, a loss leader in business is something that you're going to sell below the cost of production, all right? Like, basically, you're going to take a loss on it. It's basically like a sale. And
it's like Home Depot's lumber section.
Big Veyron. Costs $2 million to build, but they'll sell it for $1 million.
Yes, or in your country in particular, they had a very big one. The Mini, fucking back in the 1960s and 70s and 80s and shit. Like fucking GM bought one time and tried to figure out how they made it for the price that they were selling it, and they determined that there was no way they could have done it. They were selling every one of them at a loss. All right. YouTube is a loss leader. All right. It is being done for under the cost of fucking production. It loses money on a regular basis. But over time, all of journalism has always been that way. All of journalism has always been a cost. All right. It has never been something that has made money. That's why William Randolph Hearst bought all those newspapers back in the day. That's why the Catholic Church was the only one allowed to print the fucking Bible, right? Like, yo, it's a way of maintaining narrative and maintaining control over the fucking speech and thoughts of your fucking people. That's what this is about. And the biggest channels who are going to get hit are the individuals who are fighting against their fucking ideologies on immigration. All right? And that's what I got hit for. That's what Black Pigeon Speaks got hit for. Atomic News got fucking hit for it. Alex Jones got hit for fighting against the globalists. This is legitimately about the fact that we're standing here going, we don't want all these fucking immigrants in our countries. And they go, we don't fucking care. We want to keep the fucking game rolling. It doesn't matter to us what you fucking people want. That's what this is. Be very, very clear about that.
That actually makes a lot of sense, especially considering the fact that the main motivator behind mass immigration is more debt slaves for the banking industry. Because
it's not just the banks. It's not just the banks. They don't have any money to pay for future welfare programs either. And on top of that, who the hell are they going to sell anything to if you have a shrinking fucking population?
Well, that's by debt slaves.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. You know, more people to, give credit, get into credit cards and all that shit. I mean, because the fucking native populations in the Western world, we're tapped the fuck out at this point.
Yep.
Well, that is what they did to Greece.
And Germany and Switzerland, anybody who fights back against this fucking bullshit or tells you about it and they're not telling you about it on the fucking news, expects them to get shut down. They want to maintain, this is corporations and oligarchies, all right, and fucking massive amounts of fucking government all combining to fight against the people. That's what this is.
Well, yeah, that was the other thing too, is it's the mainstream outlets, because another thing about it too is before things like YouTube, the media outlets were really the gatekeepers, like in every sense of the word. I mean, Steven Crowder kind of talked about this in a video a day or two ago about media always being biased. And the only difference was before the internet, there was no way to really fact check these people. And that's what they're fighting against, because now they're being fact checked. Now people are pointing out their bullshit. Now people are wising up and they don't like it. They don't like losing control of the narrative when they've had total control of the narrative for so long. Because, I mean, where we, in what is this, 2019? 1999, where else were you going to go to find out about what was going on in the world? And you didn't have, YouTube wasn't a fucking thought back then. The internet was a thing, but it was one of those things that really only, like upper middle class and better had. Most people had.
Well, in some respects, like back in the day, you used to use like the defense magazines and defense news and shit like that. You used to be able to get like Jane's Monthly and fucking Soldier of Fortune, bloody Combat Survival, those kinds of things.
Yeah, but that was seen as like fringe and radical, and it
was at the time. Yeah,
this is today. That's my point.
I'm gonna make some memes. Yeah, I'm gonna make some memes when I get back to the fucking house tonight, right? Which I'm probably not gonna get back until like fucking midnight or so, somewhere around there. But I'm gonna make some memes, and the first meme I'm gonna make is somebody handing over the internet to somebody else, right? And they're going, "You'll be able to see everything in the world with this, right?" And you're like, this will, this is gonna change everything. And then the guy goes, "Hey, look, your society's crumbling, and fucking shit's all fucked up." And the person's gonna smack him and go, "That's hate speech," right? Because that's literally what the fuck is happening.
Oh, yeah, like Aladdin, like a whole new world.
Okay, man. Anyway, Common Sense Guy says Alex Jones didn't get kicked for talking about immigration. It was about the Sandy Hook conspiracy. Okay, fair point. But here's the thing. One man's conspiracy is another man's truth. And if you can't talk about it, then it's just going to get buried into the dark web.
Well, at the moment, since memes just decided to go and sing a Disney song, I don't think YouTube is your worry now. I think you're going to have to worry about Disney taking your AdSense money for copyright.
I already put one mouse off.
Beware the mouse.
And Mickey Mouse is coming with that fucking 10-inch mouse stick.
Oh, you fucking hell.
My apologies to the community of Agrabah.
You're creating their fucking culture.
They're also attacking channels like Secure Team. He talks about UFOs, man. I mean, shit. What harm is he doing?
Well, he is passing off bullshit as real, so...
Well, and
they clapped one of my favorite channels here recently, Chronicles of Judah, who like he's like a black YouTuber who's about black YouTube, who fucking talks about how like everything's the Baphomet and fucking Saturnist and Kabbalist and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're clapping everybody, but really the reality is that this is, a fight against globalism. And the oligarchy is motherfucking fighting against us. And Alex Jones did get clapped for fighting against, the fucking globalists. Like, that's what he's always been against, is the goddamn globalists. Don't get anything misunderstood. They want to take your guns, too. Like, this is a fight for what the fuck America's going to be. You know what I mean? And I'm not real sure how we fight when they own the goddamn fucking media. You know what I mean? When they own the platform that we're on, I don't know how we keep fighting.
So we would need to own the means of production?
Actually, you only need to survive, because it's a war of attrition at this point. Who will lose first, the media or the alt media? The alt media just needs to hang in there for a bit longer, and then the mainstream media will start attacking each other.
Well, the mainstream media is already dying. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, you look at like cable news statistics, just in the States, right? Fox News is the top rated. And I mean, their nights or their views in one night, okay, someone like PewDiePie will blow away with one video. I mean, and even smaller channels compared to him, like, Sargon or Crowder or fucking, any of the other people we've been talking about, will blow away all the other major outlets' views for a night with one fucking video. Because like Fox News, I think, is getting somewhere around, 500,000 people watching a night.
Tucker Carlson can exceed 2 million viewers.
Huh?
Tucker Carlson in some of his segments exceeds 2 million viewers.
Okay, but that's still child's play compared to alt media. And you're talking about we're talking about one of the top dogs in mainstream media.
Yeah, here's the thing also, though. I thought it was a mistake by YouTube about a week and a half ago when Lauren Southern put out her documentary and they took it down. They then let her re-upload it. I don't think that was a mistake. Not with their actions currently.
Well, they probably didn't want to make it,
I think.
Yo, I'm gonna say fuck Lauren Southern. How about that one there?
We're playing. We played the fuck, murder, kill game last night, bud. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd fuck Lauren Southern. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a horrible human being who legitimately fucking should be jettisoned into space. That's where the fuck I'm at.
Damn.
Why all the hatred for her? She's on.
Yo, you didn't hear what she did?
No.
Oh, this fucking cunt. Yo, she stood here and while she was working with Tommy Robinson, she was releasing where he was gonna be to fucking Antifa.
No, that wasn't her. That was that's a gay couple.
Huh?
No, it wasn't her. It was that gay couple.
No. That was her.
What did she share the information with other folks that she thought were going to meet and perhaps ally with them? And did those allies turn out to be antagonists?
Yo, she's the one who put those gay people into the fucking camp in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I will admit that she is a bit of a fucking troublemaker. I mean, when she did come out here, she specifically went to a specific part of Sydney just to specifically piss off the Muslims.
Yeah. Legitimately, she's that bitch, you know what I'm saying? She's playing both sides of the goddamn fence. You know what I mean? Never trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and don't die. Keep it all the way 100.
Any different than what Tim Pool does?
Well, Tim Pool's just a fucking Mongolian-headed motherfucker. You know what I mean?
That's racist.
The nigga got a mongoloid head. What do you want me to tell you?
Hey, Pinoy got done for hate speech? Oh, no.
Don't hate on the man's choice of headdress.
The Mongolians were kind of hardcore. I don't know if I'd be talking shit.
They ain't hardcore no more.
How many of us are related to Genghis Khan?
Yeah, Mongolians or Mongoloids?
Mongolians, tear down my shitty wall.
Genghis Khan lives on in Tim Pool, and you notice how milquetoast that motherfucker is. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a second. Are you saying Tim Pool is secretly like Majin Buu or Sephiroth or something?
I'm saying Tim Pool's a fucking mongoloid head. That's where I'm at. That motherfucker there got a mongoloid head. All right. Back in the day, they would have discarded him for being retarded because he has a mongoloid head.
This isn't Sparta. No, leave him alone. He's a good boy.
We would have thrown him. We would have thrown him off a cliff. All right. That's what would have happened to him as a baby when he was born, and he came out with a perfectly circular head. Charlie Brown wouldn't have survived either. Okay.
You're being
what is Eric Cartman?
Discrimination. I don't know.
It's not discrimination to say that he has a mongoloid head. I'm just talking about him specifically and Charlie Brown having a mongoloid head.
I mean, he might be more spherical than myself, but I mean, hey, he's a human being.
He's perfectly spherical. All right. There's a reason they let him on there because the flat Earth. He pisses off the flat earthers with his fucking spear head. You know?
Tim Pool, I apologize.
Tim Pool has a flat head. He doesn't have a round head.
His head is round as fuck. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You can go bowling with that motherfucker's head.
Come on.
It's flat. It's flat. There's no spherical things in the universe. Just like the planet Earth, it's flat.
It might be like it's flat in like the middle, you know what I mean, where the equator is. As I said, he's here to piss off the flat Earth.
No, it's the hollow Earth. I learned this from Godzilla, King of the Monsters. That's how Godzilla gets places real quick. He takes like those little underwater tunnels that go zoop.
I'm done with this I'm done with the goddamn Godzilla conversation. Right now, I don't want to hear any more about the flat, hollow donut Earth, all right? It's fucking goddamn ridiculous, all right? The Earth is obviously, you know what I'm saying, a trapezoid.
You actually brought it up. You do realize that?
No, I'm saying I'm not listening to nobody about the Earth having holes in it where it can go to other places with Godzilla moving around the Earth and shit. Them niggas need like thrown off of a fucking cliff too.
That's where his home was until Dr. Serizawa nuked it.
Done. I'm fucking done. I'm goddamn done with these fucking retarded ass movie makers going, how do we solve this problem? You know what I mean? Instead of going, hey, I have a whole plot about what we're gonna do. They go, well, we have a giant plot hole, but we'll figure it out when we get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Earth's not hollow. It's not flat. It's not a donut. It is a fucking giant turtle swimming through space.
Let's give thanks to Morla. My apologies.
And Jesus drags the sun past with Santa's sleigh every day.
Yes.
It only comes out once a year. He needs to recharge the batteries. Rudolph, it takes a lot of gigawatts to power that nose.
Oh, yeah, you heard of Rudolph. You heard of Rudolph red-nosed reindeer. You heard of Bruno the brown-nosed reindeer? He could run as fast, but he couldn't stop as quick.
And Santa Claus also is a reptilian shapeshifter. That's why everybody thinks he's different colors. All right?
No, he's Russian and he has tattoos. I saw it in a movie.
No, he's a shapeshifter.
No, I think everybody might be right. My channel is hateful, and I should probably quit. I mean, you guys are now attacking Santa, even. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's Santa. I can leave him alone.
Oh, we can go one better.
How can you better?
Santa's wife was a fucking whore.
Yeah, look, man, I don't even know why we celebrate a holiday where a whole bunch of bearded New Yorkers killed our Lord and Savior. Legit.
Oh my God, Melissa in the chat. She's like, yeah, pick of an ape hates talking about Godzilla. It's like, oh yeah, Godzilla versus King Kong is a thing. It's all right. I accept your internal bias.
Oh, I always believed that Santa was a superhero. He has the power to stop time.
All jokes aside, so you do have a strike on your channel?
Two. I have two strikes on my channel. I can't upload or live stream or do anything with it.
What?
Damn. And it wasn't just you streaming through that channel, right? Wasn't Excel also?
Excel's a manager on my channel, so like he can run my OBS stuff for me.
So you can't stream or upload?
Nope.
And what did you ask? Have they responded back with what specifically is considered hate speech?
Well, I told them that I'm Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean, seeing what they fucking thought about that. And I told them they were racist for saying that to me.
I thought you were Italian. I'm
part Brazilian, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have family members in Brazil.
Oh, I don't speak Portuguese, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's some kind of Spanish, I think. Something like that. I don't really do maps, all right? South America is not America with cocaine.
It's romance. We know you're a lover.
Yeah. They're all like, you know what I mean, darker skinned white people or small, round-headed Asian fucks. Either way it goes, you know what I mean? Like, Mexicans are kind of just like fucking red Chinese people.
Oh, my nephew.
You got a strike for hate speech. No, you don't say.
I was being nice too. Like, it was a video from like a year ago where I was covering Donald Trump talking about MS-13 people are animals. Right? And I said, I love Spanish people, the empanadas and the tacos and shit. You know what I mean? I said, mariachi bands. I said, well, nobody really likes mariachi bands. And then I think that's what got me the hate speech string.
What fucking mariachi band saw that shit was like, nope, not having it.
Wait, so it was either tacos and empanadas or mariachi bands?
Pretty sure it was mariachi bands. This would be the second time I got a hate speech strike for mariachi bands.
Wait, you did it again?
Yeah.
Oh, Tom, didn't you learn this from Britney Spears?
Nigga, this is from a year ago. I did it on my phone. This is before I got my first age strike.
What do people learn from Britney Spears? Not to shave their head?
Well, you don't show your vagina coming out of a limousine. You know what I'm saying? When it's not proper shape.
That was the paparazzi, man. Hey, I mean, hey, it's a free country. You can go commando if you want.
Wear underwear. No. Nigga, you are a star. You know they're going to take pictures of you.
You never gone commando?
No, I never go commando.
Oh.
I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. You know how big my balls are? If I went commando, they would hang out of my shorts.
Dude, it sucks, man. They get in the way, and then, like, if you go over the wrong way, it kind of pinch it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to wear underwear.
I've always gone commando. I never had that problem.
Well, that's because your balls aren't the size of grapefruits like mine are. But I might have testicular cancer.
It is the ass for the larger testicular community.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's that bloody reverse psychology thing. So you've got balls the size of grapefruits, which means you got the balls the size of fucking peas.
Have you ever seen Joe Dirt? Fucking where they had to like pull that dog's balls off that fucking porch.
I thought that was Ferris Bueller.
No, that was Joe Dirt.
That was Joe Dirt.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's what my balls look like. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, yo, when that dog stretches them out, exactly what it look. They look like silly putty and shit. Ridiculous.
Maybe you should see a doctor, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They're pretty functional. You know what I mean? They keep making all these goddamn kids and shit.
I'd laugh if it was a giant tumor and all he does is ejaculate his pus.
Episode of that.
You might need
someone needs to make a little cartoon short of fucking Penoid laying fucking going to bed at night and then his balls running around town knocking bitches up.
No, it's that South Park episode where bloody Randy goes and nukes his nuts so he can get the fucking medical marijuana.
Yeah. He's rolling around with a wheelbarrow.
Fucking hell. But no, once again, Penoid, that's fucked, dude. And if they got you, I'll be, my channel will be nuked soon too. I'm guessing. I mean,
you don't make content, and you don't make content like I make content. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, just don't say anything about the mariachi bands.
Yeah, don't talk about mariachi. You don't really fight against the narrative a whole lot, you're not really forceful when you do it like I am. Like when I say things, people think I really mean it, no matter what I say.
Yeah,
you have a higher effectiveness when you put out content, especially if you just put in like a shorter video, like a 10-minute video form.
And it's researched and there's documentation. You know what I mean? They don't like that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going after the conspiracy channels. I saw a creepy little book in the chat earlier. Don't know if he's still hanging around, but man, he talks about paranormal stuff all the time. I mean, is he going to be next? I mean, they're going after everybody.
I think they're going to go after the effective ones, not the ones that looks crazy, because they are good to point at afterwards to show that is.
It's not understand a word that motherfucker just said.
Sorry. It's about taking out the ones that make sense and leave the really crazy ones alone, so they have something to point at later.
He's basically saying you take out the centrists or something.
Well, no, and you could consider paranormal or the type of content he does as being conspiracy type content, right? I mean, he's talking about Bigfoot and shit.
Well, he also used to talk about like government conspiracies and shit. And I think he covered the other night. He was talking about the people who built the Georgia Guidestones, the Roselias, something like that.
Continue.
Oh no, sorry, my dog was barking at something outside. Yeah, no. He talks about a lot of subjects that people would consider conspiracy. MC, you only cover politics on your channel. I know your channel's only at 100 and something, but sooner or later you will get traction. I mean, it happens to most people that keep doing it. Are you worried about being censored?
Am I worried about being censored? I'm worried about this platform going away from me, and I'm being banned from it. Yeah. Now, am I? I'm not worried about it in regards to my personal life, but as far as how it affects my free speech on a platform to talk to people, yeah, I am worried about it. I do think I'm going to get banned. I'm surprised that I haven't been banned yet after my little tirade against Jon Stewart. To be honest.
No.
Why is everybody mad at Jon Stewart? I thought that was the most awesome shit ever.
Listen to my video and tell me where I'm wrong.
Like everybody's saying the same thing. Like the alt-right people are saying the same shit. Like, oh, Jon Stewart, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm like, yo, Jon Stewart's been like fucking fighting for fucking 9/11, dude. Like, this is his cause. Like, after he left TV, this is the cause that he chose. He praised Donald Trump last year for fucking, you know what I mean, helping to get everybody like better fucking care and, you know what I mean, make it more streamlined and shit.
Yeah, okay.
You didn't hear that?
No. I'm sorry, but I don't buy it.
I buy it completely. Like, this is something he cares about.
Well, great. What does he care? He cares more about farm sanctuary than he ever did about the frickin' 9/11 responders, and he uses them like a bloody shirt to make sure that he and the city he loves don't have to pay things, but have to sit up, but are allowed, all right, to sit up there and donate money and so forth to illegal aliens for their health care, all right, so that they don't have to pay for it. Okay, that's what this is. Jon Stewart doesn't give a rat's ass about the 9/11 responders.
I think your issue was that he was positioning himself as one of them, and you were viewing him as potentially stealing valor. I believe that was your issue.
He's done that too.
Oh, okay. I think personally, what I took away from it is I believe he was talking as a New Yorker in that form of a collective, and basically being an avatar with them. And MC, I do.
Okay, if he's a New Yorker and he cares so much because the New Yorkers care so much about the first responders and so forth, then you can explain to me why the New Yorkers haven't bothered to sit up there and create a fund from their own city. All right, and take 1% of their damn city budget for the last 20 years and donate it. They would have had more than twice what was donated by the federal government already given for that. But no. They don't have the money for it. But they do have the money, all right, to sit up there and spend $100 million, all right, on illegal aliens, all right, for their care.
Okay, that is a point that you have made, MC. I do just have to point out, weren't you rooting for the U.S. women's soccer team to lose the other day?
I mentioned that as well, but it had more to do with the fact
are you sure you're not angry and over-complaining things a little?
No, look, the women, they're complaining, all right, about the women's soccer not getting the same amount as the men's soccer, okay? And yet their product, women's soccer, the premier team in the world, the U.S. women's soccer team, lost to a 15 and under boys team.
Couldn't they just start Patreons?
All right, now hold on a second. It has nothing to do with Patreons. You're talking about equivalency for this. What are you going to pay? Are you going to pay the same amount for a 15 and under boys team as you are for a professional men's soccer team?
I won't pay dick for either one of them. I hate soccer, but I want to get back to the Jon Stewart thing, right? Like I'm an American, all right? I don't watch soccer. I'm not gay, nor do I fucking worship vagina that much. But I want to get back to the Jon Stewart thing. Like, legitimately, I think he is trying to be an advocate for the first responders from 9/11, and the federal government said that they would step up and help, and they keep using it as a fucking bullshit ass political football instead of just funding a goddamn program. And the thing is, hang on, wait. Here's the issue, all right? The thing is that it's not a growing number of people. It's not like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, they're funding the healthcare for them and their offspring and their offspring's offspring and their cousin who they're bringing over from Guatemala. Nah, it's just the first responders.
No, it's not. It's the first responders. It's not. I suggest you go back and take a look at how many people have gotten money from that fund already. It isn't just the first responders.
It's the first responders and the people who survived the fucking terrorist attack.
And their families.
That's everybody that survived the freaking attack. How far does that go?
Not all of New York. It's just the fucking people at ground zero.
Okay, and
they're not trying to fully fund their healthcare.
And how many people was that?
The House passed the bill.
Around, like what? Like maybe 10,000 people.
Well, that's kind of funny because they've already paid out over 20,000 for people for over 20,000 people they've helped. There's another 19,000 that are applying for it, and they're saying that that's still not going to be enough. That there's even more that are trying to apply for it.
Well, having that conversation is different than going, we shouldn't be covering firefighters and cops.
I'm not saying that, and nor did I ever say that. I said Jon Stewart is a fraud.
I don't think he's a fraud at all. I think he's legitimate. I think he's legitimate as shit.
If he cared about that, then he would be looking at the funding. He would be
saying, "Wait a minute." He's out like every 6 months doing this.
Oh, really? And how much time has he spent on that compared to how much he spent on Farm Sanctuary, making sure Bessie, all right, is taken care of?
Well, I don't really care about other shit that he does. I care about the fact that he legitimately works.
You're saying he cares, and I'm showing you all the other things he supposedly cares about that have a higher priority than that.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I think when he goes out and he goes out and he hands out shit to the fucking families, and you know what I mean, he's out here at the benefits and he's out here drumming up support on a regular. He works year round on this shit for them, man. He's the main and probably one of the only advocates for this in media who are still fighting for these fucking people, and it's 20 years later.
He doesn't have to pay for it with his $25 million salary a year.
Oh, he's donated. He donates, and he donates his time for free.
How much does he donate to that?
You'd have to check his W-2s and ask how much he has. But I'm pretty no. I know he has. I know he has. This is something he cares about, and I'm cool with that. You can tell, no, because last year when he went to White House last year, all right, and he stood out in front of Donald Trump's stood in the middle of the White House.
How come he didn't go to de Blasio's house? How come he's not standing in front of City Hall in front of New York saying we got to take care of our own?
Because he knows they're not going to help, and the federal government already said they would.
It becomes the responsibility of my representatives to sit up there and foot the bill. For people like me.
This is one of those things. There's certain things that we should be okay with funding.
If he's a New Yorker, then how about he starts standing up and acting like a New Yorker and taking care of his own first?
I don't care about New Yorkers. I care about fucking people who were damaged in a fucking terrorist attack in 2001.
And I don't think he cares as long as he cares as long as it's coming out of somebody else's pocket, not his own.
Are you sure it's not just because he made fun of President Bush for a number of years?
You want me to go into that?
No, not really. But he praised Donald Trump. He's an anti-Trumper, but he praised Donald Trump and showed scruples last year in doing so, and that allows me to go, you know what, man? Fuck it. He actually does give a fuck. You know what I mean? He wasn't
that I have seen him actually do that I consider worthwhile, frankly. All right, was going on a USO tour, and he did that last year.
How about when he had Jim Cramer on and he dug in his motherfucking ass about fucking, you know what I mean, the financial shit of where the fuck what the banks did to the fucking American goddamn people.
I don't think he gave a shit about that.
I think he always has given a shit. How about when he went to CNN?
It's funny how he gives a shit, but that his giving a shit doesn't come out of his own freaking pocket, does it?
How about when he goes to CNN and he gets the motherfuckers' asses about, you know what I mean, fucking standing here how they're handling goddamn political figures on their fucking shows and shit. The Tucker Carlson, I forget the other guy who the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Dude, legitimately, Jon Stewart's always been a fucking, he'll give it to both sides, and he's always been a straight type of dude.
Yeah. He's a straight kind of dude, except for when it comes to his own tight-wadded pockets.
He has to live the rest of his life. He's living the rest of his life on what he made.
We can't help. We don't have the money to help. 1% out of the New York City budget would have been twice what would have been coming out of the federal funds, which were okay, but you need more. And you could be continuing to do that, but we can't do it because it'd be coming directly out of his pocket. And as long as it doesn't come out of his pocket, he's fine. Oh, he'll come out there and he'll cry just like he was trained, all right, as an actor. Oh, I care. As long as it comes out
because it's a national fucking calamity.
It has nothing to do with a national calamity. If you want to talk about
it's a fucking terrorist attack.
Yeah, and look at how the rest of the nation responded as a result. It wasn't just New York.
Exactly. It was a nationwide thing. So the nation should be motherfucking footing the bill, not just New York.
The nation did fit the bill. The nation also stood up there and asked me for my sacrifice to sit up there and go over and go play in the sand. So don't come back and tell me about all the freaking sacrifices coming out that he wants the federal government to do that he himself and the new city of New York won't do, where their priority is the illegal aliens rather than, well, we're caring about
I agree with you that they shouldn't be taking care of illegal aliens. I agree with you completely.
Jon Stewart, when I see Jon Stewart on the freaking City Hall of New York bitching about it, then I'll believe he cares. Other than that, he's a fraud.
He goes to fucking fundraisers in New York City to raise funds from other New Yorkers and celebrities and fucking politicians up there to try and pull money out of their pockets, but they're not budging because they think it's the federal government's responsibility. Well, he's not a politician.
And dial up all of his buddies, all right, in Hollywood. Maybe he should go to Sarah Jessica Parker. Maybe he should go to Michael Bloomberg. Maybe he should go to all the other billionaires and millionaires like the Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and get their funding from them rather than sit up there and say, you know what, MC, we need to take it out of your pocket because you haven't given enough.
There's very few things I don't mind funding, all right? Like, for instance, I think we should be paying for crazy houses. And I mean, we should have wacko baskets to put people in, right? We should be fully funding fucking veteran services and shit way more than we do, all right? We should be, and this is another one. This is something that we should be funding. These are people who are at ground zero who ended up fucking catching cancer from asbestos and 100 years worth of bullshit that was in those motherfucking offices and those fucking towers and shit. And they legitimately are fucking sick, and they were part of a
How many of the 40,000 applicants, the 41,000 applicants have cancer?
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, man. And like, if I researched them,
I'll give you the number because this is what the leftist media is telling you. That they say, well, approximately 10,000 is linked to this. Now, if you take a look at cancer rates, all right, through this entire thing, all right, there are areas of cancer that have gone up since 9/11. There are areas of cancer that have gone down from 9/11. But total incidence of cancer hasn't changed really. So this attitude to sit up there and say that, oh, no, they're catching all this cancer from this is a freaking, it's a tactic to sit up there and gain, all right, people to say, oh, look how precious you are, and we're going to sit up there and use you like a bloody rag to justify sucking money from the government that we ourselves don't want to have to fund. And that's exactly who Jon Stewart is. You're telling me he cares? Then you show me how he really cares.
Yeah, I think legitimately he does. I think this is a cause that he gives a fuck about.
He's an actor, and you got sucked in.
I'd put it.
I think serious. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at his face and tell he gives a fuck.
I'd put it to you, if he really did give a fuck, he'd do the same thing as what Dennis Leary and Jeremy Clarkson and other people like that did and start their own charities, like Help for Heroes and New York Firefighters Fund and stuff like that.
Maybe his farm sanctuary work will come on over. Maybe he can put him out in the little rest home or out to the pasture with Bessie, all right, and Robbie the horse.
So you disagree with something that's important to him?
No, well, I'm saying that if it's important to him, I expect him to act like it's important to him rather than the fraudulent way that he's going about it. Yeah, because if you say something's important to you, doesn't mean that it's important to you. Your actions speak louder than your words.
Yeah, and with say Help for Heroes, for example, that was grassroots, completely civilian. Like I said, Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear, he was part of the people who started it, along with the Daily Mail and all that. They've actually built hospitals and hospices and recovery centres and stuff like that. They've actually got enough fundage to do that on their own owners, free from the government and all this kind of shit. Now, if John Stewart was really, all that in a bag of bloody chips, there's nothing stopping him from doing the exact same thing. The fact of the matter is he hasn't done it yet. Dictates to me that he doesn't really give that much of a shit.
All right. Well, I think that was.
I'm looking for John Stewart's charity. Hang on a minute.
And just see how much they've done in comparison to, say, Help for Heroes or the Dennis Leary Firefighters Fund.
I don't know. I know he has an autism charity, fucking an AIDS charity. I don't know.
International.
He has helped out the Feel Good Foundation, which is actually supposed to provide direct.
Make a wish.
Yeah, but giving charities money is one thing. Just arbitrarily giving them cash is just fucking meaningless. It's like if you go out and you say, right, well, okay, if I had the option and I won a life-changing amount of money tomorrow, I wouldn't go to a hospital and say, oh, here's some money for an MRI machine. I'd rock up with a truck with an MRI machine in the back and say, here you go.
Here, you want to see what it's like? Here. I'll put it here in the side chat for you, so you can take a look at it. There's a good site for you.
But I don't know. There's lots of charities. Right after the event happened, lots of money was raised already. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent towards it, probably because it's in New York and I'm in Oregon.
Well, it's not that. Well, first of all, the 9/11 fund, all right, that they're talking about, all right, is not just a New York thing. All right, there are funds that did pay out also for the families that from the Pentagon and so forth. Okay, so it isn't just that. My problem isn't helping the 9/11 responders or the people who were harmed on 9/11. My problem, all right, is John Stewart. Okay, and the reason my problem is with John Stewart is because, like all leftists that claim, oh, look at this charity that needs to be funded, oh, look at this cause that needs to be taken care of, all right, they will go out and wave them around as if, look at how we need to help these people. And okay, that's all well and good. And then you examine what they're actually doing. How come they aren't helping? How come they're not stepping up? Okay, how come he comes out there and was acting all indignant that representatives from people like me, people who have made other types of sacrifices for this country, and he's sitting there going, you haven't given enough. We need your money. We need money out of your pocket, rather than while he himself funds illegal aliens, while he himself runs in all these other groups. So that gets taken care of, all right? But while he demands, you need to do something about these people because I don't want to. If you want to do something needs to be done. Won't somebody help out? And as long as somebody else is doing it, fine and dandy. But if it comes down, let's all do it together, well, yeah, you'll find out who's lacking, him. As long as other people are standing up and doing it. It's just like listening to the same fraudulent bullshit from Bernie Sanders saying, well, they're not paying their fair share. And when somebody points out to him, well, you're a multimillionaire. How come you're not paying 50%? Well, how much are you taking out of your taxes? All right, it's the same freaking logic.
So, MC, according to that little link you put out there, John Stewart supports the Red Cross. The Red Cross, which also had an event 3 years ago now, a little under that, raising blood platelets and stuff like that for first responders and stuff. So, I mean, maybe blood is nothing, but I think blood is important.
And how many people? How many people give blood? You know where the number one?
I'm saying, like, yo, legitimately. Like, yo, he has been he has been an advocate for this group forever.
That's for.
You can't knock him when he's doing something good, man. Like, yo, you gotta go, like, yo, thank you for doing
this.
He's
a fraud. fraud.
He's not a fraud. Okay, I mean, like, yo, so if he helps one firefighter, I don't give a fuck why he does it.
By getting somebody to step in and take care of it. For getting somebody else to reach into their freaking wallet and take care of it. You consider that help. I don't.
I do. I consider that help when the government does what it's supposed to do.
Well, how come it's only the federal government doing what it's supposed to do? How come it isn't him? How come he isn't doing what he's supposed to do?
I don't know how much money he's donated to these causes. All right. And like, yo, he doesn't release it. Probably, I don't know whether he doesn't release it because he doesn't want people to see him do it or he's being humble. I don't know. I want to say, I'd say thank you for getting off your ass and going to Washington and fighting for these people's rights. And for standing next to these firefighters.
Fighting for somebody else's rights, as long as somebody else pays for it, isn't you sacrificing anything.
Do you know Jon Stewart hasn't contributed?
What do you mean, do I know that he hasn't contributed?
You are sure he has not put up any money from his own personal bank account?
Show me what he's put out from his own personal account.
Maybe he doesn't really want the notoriety and stuff because
but he has no problem with the notoriety for Farm Sanctuary.
Okay.
It's only he doesn't want the notoriety for the first responders. He wants to go in front of Congress, in front of everyone, all right, because he doesn't want the notoriety for actually giving to those groups, but he has zero problem, right, listing his work and his charity for Farm Sanctuary.
Maybe he doesn't want to pull out his proverbial dick and actually say, I donated millions of dollars, because some folks try to be modest. And
he doesn't have to say that he donated
I think I heard
millions.
those words from you yourself, where
he doesn't
you are
have to
help
say,
people, but you don't publicize that.
He doesn't have to say.
Do you realize I've given over $1,000 to Gulf City and charity this year?
Look, I don't mind that.
And nobody has any idea I do this type of shit.
I understand that, all right, but that's not the case with Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart's charity giving is what? Yes, I do know that. Why? Because it's right there already with all the other charities that he gives to. You can't tell me that the only charity that he doesn't want people to know that he's giving to, all right, is the 9/11 fund.
Maybe it hits a nerve. I don't know.
What? Oh, come on! You're making excuses, Means.
Well,
I'm not. We're not making excuses. I'm saying, like, maybe he doesn't want people fucking constantly coming up to him going, "Hey, I need more money."
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Which is a legitimate problem.
In other words, it's going to be somebody else's problem. Let them go to somewhere else. Let them eat cake. Yeah, good answer. Yeah.
I'm betting money. I'm betting money he gives. I'm betting money he gives generously to his fund.
Oh, I absolutely believe he does give generously to his fund, and I absolutely believe, too, he gets a lot of it back in his taxes as well. That's the reason why he does it. It's tax write-off.
It's a good possibility. And, you know what I mean? Like, if you can write off your charitable donations, that's cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, it helps the federal government not have to pay for shit. You know what I mean? Like, I donate nearly fucking $9,500 a year to fucking fund underprivileged youth. You know what I mean? But I don't get a dime of that back.
So he shouldn't have a problem whatsoever, all right, demonstrating to everybody on his $25 million salary a year, showing how much he's giving, all right, to all the different charities, so we can see what his priorities for these charities has been for the past 20 years, right?
It's not really my business who he donates to, is it?
I'm not saying that.
No.
All right, it's not. You can say that, but that's not the problem. You can, it becomes the problem when you go out there and say, "Look at me, I'm working for these people," and all you've ever done to work for those people is try to get somebody else to reach into their pocket to pay for it. That's hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's going back to that.
And if he's not a hypocrite, if he really believes this, and he's upset about this kind of stuff, then he gives to charity. And you can say, well, he gives to charity, but he doesn't let people know. That would have been fine, except for the fact he has a whole bunch of charities that he's given to, isn't it? And he has no problem letting people know about those charities. So the idea that somehow he's trying to secretly take care of the charity of the First Responders Fund is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, my major problem with him is not just not he's asking for money. It's the fact that there are groups out there that have done more effective things than just ask for money. Like I keep referring to Help for Heroes. If John Stewart had said, "Oh, I built this hospice for fucking sick firefighters, and I'm a little bit short on cash. Can the government help me subsidise it?" I'd be okay with that because he's actually gone and done something. But he's just going, "Oh, I need money. Yeah, give me money. What do you want it for? Oh, this charity. Okay, what are you going to do with it? Just give us the money and you'll see." No. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to do something effective with it? Or are you just going to fucking squander it like most charities do? You know, take 90 cents out of the dollar for fucking fees and shit.
I know some of you guys are on a cell phone, so you might not have seen it. I have to go at 5. Yeah, 10-minute warning, guys. So, final thoughts?
I like Jon Stewart.
On censorship or the Jon Stewart thing, I mean, the show was mainly about Black Pigeon Speaks getting his channel nuked, but then we found out Pinoid did as well. Pinoid, do you have a backup channel?
That's a good question. Pinoid, are you there? He must be trying to research something.
Yeah, but
I think he works with Excel. Could probably do Excel.
But yeah, final thoughts on censorship, or if you want to throw another blow at Jon Stewart, go for it, I guess.
Go Power Rangers.
No, I think I said my piece.
Okay.
Pinoid did sort of allude to the fact that, yes, he was taking the piss out of some nationalities a bit more than what that mariachi band comment was supposed to be. So he kind of sounded like he was asking for it.
But he's not. I mean, it's freedom of speech. The reality is that they don't want to listen to something that they don't want to hear, and they're going to anything that they find harmful to their cause. And I think that I'm not sure if it was you who said it or somebody else on here that said it. It's the effective ones that they're going after. If anybody's effective, that's when they're going to go after them. Those are the people that they're going to target because they're the ones that get known. They're the ones that get the videos made about them. All right. And of course, Pinoid is trying to grow his channel. He's doing things to get his name out there. So he's going to be on the edgy in that regard. All right. And that's fine. But the reality is that they only tolerate when they call something hate speech. Okay. All right, what is specifically hate speech? Well, if you're doing a supremacist, viewpoint. Okay, so you point to all these black supremacist channels. None of them were hit. All right, so explain to me then that.
No. Alquan from the Black consciousness community. He was hit. He was fully demonetized.
Was he hit with like Pinoid was? Was he given strikes on his channel for hate speech?
Oh, maybe. I didn't listen to his whole video. I just know.
I was already demonetized before I got hit with a strike.
We're all demonetized, man.
I never bothered trying to be monetized.
Well, Excel wanted us to get monetized. We got monetized, and then they demonetized me, and then I got hit with a strike, and now I can't upload.
Yeah, do you have a backup channel? Because we're getting ready to wrap up here. But
Guerrilla News Network, we're going to be on at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, where people live, and we're going to be talking about stuff and things and whatever.
Put your link in the chat. In the side chat.
I can't put links to shit.
You can't do that. Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah, look up the Guerrilla News Network. Fucking, it's Excel's old channel.
All right, cool. And thank you for coming on and talking about that. That's fucking lame, man. But no, I think we are gonna wrap up. I gotta get in touch with Doku because we might be hiring an artist for that graphic novel we're working on. So I gotta get moving on that, and then I gotta make dinner. So later, everybody. Good night. Good luck. And I guess we love France now. Welcome to the new censored version of Mad Dogs Productions. We love the
sucker.
We're out of here later.